Fair to say that for most of us, one of the more annoying things about Facebook, save for the fact they have no real customer service, and anytime something goes wrong, you think they're all sitting back in their comfy chairs laughing at you as you steam, are the ads that pop up and try to sell us exactly what we need or desire, and what we don't need or desire. They won't be stopping anytime soon. And for that matter, Facebook may have finally gotten this whole monetization thing right. From the Book of Bulls, Bears, and Bucks, better known as the Society to Advance Financial Education, welcome back Steve Beeman. Steve, good to see you again.
Well, good afternoon, Ed.
Here we go. Let's start out with Facebook selling real-time Super Bowl ads going up against Twitter. Have they finally got the whole concept here in how to make this internet thing actually pay money?
Well, the stock market certainly seems to think so. They've doubled their stock price since they came out 2 years ago, so the market's pretty pleased with it. But, they're facing a lot of challenges as the PC world moves away and the mobile world moves in. It's going to be interesting how Facebook responds to that to keep this going.
Look, it's going to happen, fair to say, sooner or later, and even Wall Street knows it, because as everybody moves away from standard television and we go to pads, we go to phones, we go to more through the internet, we are going to see more ads like this. And as a matter of fact, I'm still wondering when Facebook is going to get to the point, if they ever do, where they're going to say, okay, $1 a month from everybody. It just seems like it's going to happen inevitably to make more money.
They've certainly tried that model in test markets. It's not responded well. In fact, you see younger people moving away from Facebook now because Facebook doesn't share posts as readily as it used to. Now, if you post something to your fan page or your personal page, you better be willing to boost that post and pay for it to get it out there.
See, it's no longer just as free as you think it is. And working right off the back of that whole cable thing, Time Warner Cable losing subscribers, lower than expected earnings. I get the feeling, Steve, we're going to see a lot more of this in the future, again, as people start to move away from cable and start to go to other forms of communication.
Well, I think they can look at Newsmax television, where a lot of the people I know like to watch you on their cell phones or on their other electronic devices, not standard television. And you're seeing more and more of that. In fact, it's one of the challenges for advertisers is how they collect data on how many people are actually watching a program, because you don't know how many people have it on their cell phone.
Isn't that going to be the real key here? Because as everybody else looks to make the move, as we have and others are, to the internet through this sort of delivery, you can get a better handle on who your audience is instead of the old metering systems, which simply don't work as well as what you get off the web.
We certainly haven't figured it out. It's tough to look at the number of views, for example, because you don't know if people viewed something all the way through or not. But the market research companies are trying to develop new matrices on which they can provide that data to the industry, because advertisers are saying, hey, we want a piece of this. We just don't know how to pay for it.
All right, McDonald's bounces their CEO out after only a couple of years. Is this because there's a tremendous amount of competition out there, that McDonald's doesn't have good food anymore, that maybe they're not as healthy? There's got to be a reason here, because this used to be the unbeatable franchise.
Well, we certainly segued from electronics into nutrition here, but being in my backyard, I follow McDonald's quite a bit. They are facing a lot of challenges from a change in demographic taste. For example, Chipotle now carries a fair size of the market share. You go to the Subway sandwich shops, which give a little healthier alternative. That has certainly hurt McDonald's, but they've also been hurt by the slowdown in China, which is a big part of their growth. So they're facing competition from a number of dimensions: the food tastes of America, the demographics globally, as well as just changes into the way people operate. People go to Starbucks now to talk, not necessarily McDonald's.
It's a taste for the internet and then to a taste for burgers, if you will. 30 seconds. I'll try and make this one even better. Let's move from food for the soul to food for your car. Basically, the CEO of Shell is saying that eventually oil is going to hit $90 a barrel. That's where it'll average out. Just don't know when. Do you think that's correct?
Well, I think it will someday. I think
yeah, exactly, someday.
This is one of these statements from an oil producer saying, hey, this is getting really cheap and it's hard to make money. But the fact of the matter is there's so much oil on the market today, and shale oil, you and I've talked about it, the U.S. only holds 10% of global shale reserves. So this is a revolution that's going to be taking place in the future.
From the Society to Advance Financial Education, we will feed your soul with oil and food and electronics and the internet. We'll get it all in here. Steve Beeman, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Ed.
All right, take care. Third hour of the fastest trio in broadcast news. Find what happens when conditions force a bare-chested madman and a diminutive despot into an interesting friendship. Also, a little bit later on, and telling it like it is, a personal plea to Sarah Palin. It's all coming up right here, third hour on Midpoint.